Sound therapy is more to do with active listening, and that active listening is actually a heart-orientated experience. When one hears, it's a passive experience. The passive experience is more to do with the physical, what one is hearing. It's got nothing to do with how one feels inside and how that quietens the soul in order to hear itself for the first time in many instances. So the sort of people I have coming in for sound therapy are those people that are wanting to have time out from their mad world, that it's got a little bit out of control. Originally, sound was an incredibly transformative tool in the East, and especially in China and in India. The things that happened in the Himalayan area were almost mystically unknown to us. The Tibetan people used the power of mantra, and they use the power of their tools of sound, which are normally percussion instruments, which is what I use here too. The singing bowls are a great love of mine. The Himalayan singing bowls, more popularly known as Tibetan singing bowls. They come from mythological history, and the history comes down from the mixture of metals that are used in the bowls. There's a strong correspondence, amazingly so, between all our emotions and the different metals that have a very similar frequency, if not the same frequency. So when you hear a singing bowl, your emotions are being soothed and nurtured by the sounds of the different metals, which have got very similar frequencies to those emotions that we have. Those are the gongs, and I use them. They're very good with anger therapy, and they're very good with actually using the person, having the person identify them as shimmering sunlight in their body, and beaming that shimmering sound out in their body. My tuning forks specifically used on individuals when they immediately lie down on the sondawa monochord, and that touching of the body happens right in the beginning of the therapy. Once I have worked on the body and touching the body at the beginning of the therapy, I don't touch that body again. So I leave that body to take itself into its own time and space. I also use tingshaws in my sound therapy, and I ting them at various intervals while the person's lying down on the sondawa monochord, so that I can just keep them in a wakefulness state, so they don't fall into unconscious sleep state. The last sound that I use, which is a droning sound, is the sound of the sondawa monochord. When the person's lying on the table, they are lying with their bodies directly in contact with the wood of the table, and that itself is a resonance box. Underneath it there are about 23 different piano strings, long piano strings, all of which are tuned to exactly the same frequency. Where the line of strumming happens or occurs allows different overtones and undertones to happen. And those overtones and undertones tickle or enlighten the different energy packages directly of the body. So it's most useful for the physical as well as the emotional, and because it influences the hormonal levels as well of the individual lying on the monochord, to be able to encourage that alpha state in them, for them to realize basically what their work is to do when they get up away from it and they walk away from the sound therapy.